Navigating back in time, we land upon a defining experience from the life of the iconic figure Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose name resonates with hope, tenacity, and an unyielding quest for racial justice and seeking God. He was in the midst of an otherwise uneventful day at a book signing event, connecting with those who had been influenced by his speeches and the movement he created. This normalcy was shattered by an event that starkly highlighted the perpetual danger he lived under. Martin Luther King recounts,
"While sitting there autographing books, a demented black woman came up. The only question I heard from her was, 'Are you Martin Luther King?' And I was looking down writing and I said yes. The next minute I felt something beating on my chest. Before I knew it, I had been stabbed by this demented woman.
A woman had approached him, striking a deep blow without provocation. A rush to Harlem hospital followed on what had quickly turned into a grim Saturday afternoon. His survival hung precariously as the severity of the attack became clear. The blade had dangerously grazed his aorta, one misstep away from causing fatal injury. As Dr. King expressed, he could have died quickly had the blade punctured his main artery. News outlets the following day painted a grim picture of the situation, emphasizing how narrowly he had escaped death. It wasn't until several days later that he was allowed to move around in the hospital, a dangerous blade having been removed successfully from his chest. While recuperating, an outpouring of support in the form of countless letters found its way to him. The words of supporters from around the globe filled the hospital room. Among the myriad messages from renowned personalities, a simple, heartfelt note from a high school student in White Plains left an unforgettable mark. In his own words, he said,
"And I looked at that letter and I'll never forget it. It said simply, 'Dear Dr. King, I am a 9th grade student at the White Plains High School.' She said, 'While it should not matter, I would like to mention that I'm a white girl. I read in the paper of your misfortune and of your suffering. And I read that if you had sneezed, you would have died. I'm simply writing you to say that I'm so happy that you didn't sneeze.'"
A heartfelt letter from this young girl underscored how his survival meant so much to so many. Reflecting on the impact of his survival, MLK realized how crucial his continued presence was for the advancement of the civil rights movement. He expressed his relief at not having sneezed, knowing that had the worst happened, he wouldn't have witnessed the significant strides in the fight for equality that took place in the following years. In his own words, he said,
"I want to say tonight that I too am happy that I didn't sneeze, because if I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been around here in 1960. When students all over the South started sitting in at lunch counters. And I knew that as they were sitting in, they were really standing up for the best in the American dream and taking the whole nation back to those great wells of democracy which were dug deep by the founding fathers in the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. If I had sneezed."
Dr. King's narrative seamlessly ties his own survival to the broader progression of the civil rights movement. The casual reference to sneezing draws attention to the precariousness of life, yet underscores the profound importance of his continued existence. He continued,
"If I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been around here in 1962. The Negroes in Albany, Georgia decided to straighten their backs up. And whenever men and women straighten their backs up, they are going somewhere, because a man can't ride your back unless it is bent. If I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been here in 1963. Black people of Birmingham, Alabama, aroused the conscience of this nation and brought into being the Civil Rights Bill. If I had sneezed, I wouldn't have had a chance later that year in August to try to tell America about a dream that I had. If I had sneezed."
MLK displays a captivating tapestry of defiance, resilience, and symbolism. His metaphor of straightening their backs up represents a decision to resist subjugation and assert their dignity and individuality. His follow-up that "a man can't ride your back unless it is bent" is a reminder that being taken advantage of persists only if one allows it. Dr. King's life wasn't just his own, but one with monumental events that he inspired, including the 1963 Birmingham campaign, the introduction of the Civil Rights Bill, and a dream that would captivate a nation. The narrative underlines how King's survival was not just personal, but pivotal for the trajectory of America. Reflecting on his journey from a brush with death to the forefront of influencing change, MLK remained unflinchingly optimistic. He said,
"So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord."
From this incident that nearly took his life to the pinnacle of influence, Dr. King's journey was punctuated by trials and tribulations just like many other greats. Yet his spirit remained steadfast and his vision clear. He emerged from this terrifying experience stronger and even more resolved, continuing to inspire billions.